Alright, here's a quick video for you 13900 and 14900K owners trying to play the Battlefield 6 beta. I did find a way to get some more performance out of the CPUs. Just off the top, this is the config file that I have. It's basically just for the overlay, and then there's this one setting that gives me a little bit more FPS in the GPU bound scenarios. Mostly that snow map, but that's all I have. Okay, so I do play the game on Steam. I'm on Windows 10, 1400K, 4090, decent RAM overclock, and I do have hyperthreading disabled because I play different games that actually give me a benefit. That's probably not the move for this game, but I'm not going to go through the BIOS and all that for one game. So don't take this video as a recommendation to turn hyperthreading off, because that's not the point of this video. It's probably the opposite. So I'll try not to yap too much. Here you can see process lasso, just showing the core usage. So with default thread scheduling, 8 P cores are completely used, and then all the E cores are like half utilized. And what I'm gonna do is go in here, I'm gonna turn render res to 50% of 1440p and do DLSS on ultra performance. All the graphics settings are on low or off. They're on the lowest possible setting. And I'm gonna use the firing range just because it's easier to jump back and forth. If I go to an actual game and there's different amounts of players and stuff, I'm not gonna get a really easy to read result. So everything default. I'm getting about 560 for frame rate, and the CPU usage is about 200 watts. I don't think you can read that, so let me pull this up. Okay, 200 watts, that's about right. Now, something that I use in different games is process lasso, where I'll actually just go in here and change the thread count to take the ecores out of the equation. You can't use the affinity in this game. You can if you do it, I think maybe if you apply this to the anti-cheat, but if you do it to the actual EXE and you try to do affinity, it doesn't actually allow you to change anything. The frame rate didn't change, core utilization is the same. So what you want to do with process lasso, if you wanted to use this for some reason, is go to sets and do it there. But you see we lose a ton of performance. So I was at 560, now I'm at 380. All right, and the power draw is, what happened? Okay, power draw 180. Didn't really gain anything. So my recommendation is to not even bother with process lasso or using task manager to remove certain threads. Do not do it this way, you lose performance, and there's really no point in doing that. But there is a way to get more performance, and I'll show you that right now. So back in here, all I'm gonna do is put this in. So processor count, max processor count. I won't pretend I understand these completely. Every game engine usually has some kind of way to do this, like Warzone or stuff like that. The idea is to limit the game to 8 threads, and the game is fortunately smart enough to use the 8 P cores. Now, if you're on like the 600K SKUs and you have 6 P cores, maybe the 6 would work the same here. I can't verify that. This is just for 13900K, 14900K. So that's all I'm gonna change. And I'm gonna load back into the beta. And what you'll see is the E-core usage will kind of go up a little bit. And then you'll see the config file get read and the core usage will drop, indicating that we're not using the E-cores. There you go. A little bit of usage there. And you can tell the config file saved because my overlay is there, and then these will drop. So now we're only using the ecores, which we achieved with process lasso, but we lost like almost 200 FPS. So the settings are the same, everything's identical. So let's go to this firing range, and there you go. Now we're at 640. And the craziest thing is the power draw went from 200 to 160, let's say 170. So you save like 30 watts and you gain a good amount of performance, right? Now don't expect this amount of performance in the actual game. Like if you're on, I'm not even gonna pretend that I remember the names of the maps. The maps with all the buildings, those are very CPU heavy. No matter what you have, those you will still gain performance, but it will be nothing like this at all. So don't even think you're gonna get almost 100 FPS. But you will get an increase. You'll get a decrease in temperature, you'll get a decrease in power draw, and you'll get an increase in performance. So this is the best way that I found. As you see, the ecores are no longer being used, and you do gain performance. So give it a try.